Succeeding in life is not usual. It's unusual. You need to develop some unusual habits to earn the outstanding rewards. A friend of mine said, a standard education will get you standard results. You want a lot more than standard results? You need to become a lot more than a standard person.
You have to act and decide simultaneously. So what does that do? You see, that puts up a very curious problem, which in its own turn becomes a bind. This is true likewise of any sort of shooting, pistol shooting as well. That if you aim, if you decide and then fire, you're apt to do things like pulling the trigger instead of squeezing. All kinds of wrong things are done. And you're always a moment too late if you decide first. To try and act quickly enough so that you overtake the preliminary decision. To try not to decide first. And that is an impossible problem.
We intend to when the idea strikes us. We intend to when the emotion is high. But now if you don't translate that into action fairly soon, now the intent starts to diminish. And a month from now it's cold. A year from now, it can't be found. So act. Set up a discipline when the emotions are high and the idea is strong and clear and powerful. That's the time to set up the discipline. Somebody talks about good health and you're stirred. Right. You need to get a book on nutrition. Get the book before the idea passes and before the emotion gets cold. Go for the book. Start the library. Start the truck.
And you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. Now, first of all, we know that this is not easy, because in order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much and care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us. And that's not possible.
Life should be an exciting adventure. It should never be a bore. A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the morning. He should be doing a job he likes to do because he does it well.
The fifth law of happiness is the law of expression, which states that whatever is expressed is impressed, and whatever is impressed is expressed. Whatever you say, either to yourself or out loud, is impressed into your subconscious mind. And whatever is impressed into your subconscious mind will ultimately be expressed in your thoughts, your feelings, your conversation, and your actions. The more emotion that you use to express any thought or idea, the more deeply it will be impressed into your subconscious mind, and the more rapidly it will be re-expressed in your life. Whatever you say with conviction triggers thoughts, ideas, and actions consistent with those words, so be sure to pick your words carefully. When you think of a challenge or a goal, and you repeat to yourself the words, "I can do it, I can do it, I can do it," you trigger all kinds of feelings and actions that propel you forward toward doing the things that will enable you to achieve the goal. The sixth law of happiness is the law of reversibility. It states that just as your feelings determine your actions also determine your feelings. This is a remarkable and powerful law that says that even if you don't feel a particular way, such as self-confident or happy, if you act as if or pretend that you have the feelings already, the actions themselves will have a backflow effect and generate the emotions consistent with them. When you act in a certain way, the actions themselves trigger thoughts, images, feelings, and attitudes that are consistent with those actions. You can, in effect, control much of the content of your mental and emotional life simply by moving your body in such a way that it's consistent with the way in which you wish to think and feel. The seventh law of happiness is the law of visualization, which states that ideas and images tend to awaken emotions and feelings that correspond to them. When you create clear mental pictures of yourself as happy, positive, and optimistic, these mental pictures will trigger feelings and actions that actually lead to your being happy, positive, and optimistic. One of the most helpful exercises that you can engage in is to think of a time in your life when you've been extremely happy and to replay that experience on the screen of your mind as though you were running a movie projector. Put yourself right into the picture and re-experience or get the feelings that go with it. You can actually make yourself happy by dwelling upon previous experiences when you've been happy.